So you obviously in the past have, been very heavily involved in operations,
Mhm.
in your past role as well. What are some of the things that companies, whether it's like M&A, whether it's other, manufacturing, whatever the industries, what are some of the challenges like about cold email? Because that is kind of a fundamental base of the services for sourcing,
Mhm.
or lead gen or whatever you want to call it. It is kind of the baseline. So, what are
Mhm.
some of the challenges that people are facing today, and what should they be conscious of?
Um, so a couple of things. I feel like people that try cold email or try doing outreach on their own, any sort of marketing, they don't realize how much time it definitely, requires to build a campaign, to build a list, copywriting, the tech side of it. Like there's a lot of time that needs to be dedicated to it. Other than that, like I know that cold email sending was a lot different before. And then towards the end of last year, everything definitely changed in that sense. And everyone felt it, the impact and all that stuff. Um, so I want to say like just ensuring that we have a custom domain, have it warmed up, have multiple domains, have multiple sending platforms as well. So we're not having concentration risk, ensuring that the data list is going to be valid with the correct contacts. And for copywriting, that is like a whole nother like side of it. I know I'm kind of like going through it really quickly. Each different section has different nuances that we have to look into and definitely test. There's not like a one solution for all. It's definitely a lot of pivoting, a lot of testing when it comes to cold email outreach.
Yeah. And I think
Mhm.
I'm just going to build off of what you said. On the cold email, I think something that's really relevant that you pointed out was you absolutely need to diversify because you
Mhm.
don't know when the shifts are going to happen in the market. So you have to constantly be doing R&D to make sure you are on top of it, right? So whether that's variations in your scripting, whether that's variations in your ESPs, whether that's variations in your infrastructure and tech. So I'm really glad that you touched on it. So what I think I'll just harp on a little bit about is how are we going to be doing that at Accelerate? Essentially, we come from foot 5, 6 years of doing lead gen, right? And we've very transparently, we've kind of been hit with it all. Like we were really good at what we do, but we also saw all the bad, right?
Mhm.
We've seen Microsoft and Google make insane shifts. And by the way, this is not isolated to us. Everyone that does anything in any kind of email marketing side has faced these challenges, right? So it's a love and hate relationship with these kinds of ESPs because they're the best of the best, but they're the worst of the worst, right? So over here, what we do is we have layers. When it comes to domain infrastructure, we have 5 to 6 providers. And at any given time, when we're setting you up, we're warming them up. But we don't believe in multi-users per domain. That's not our approach. A lot of people do that. We've seen Hypertide. We've seen a lot of other mailboxes that are like, okay, let's do like 5 usernames per domain. No, we don't believe in that. It's one username per domain. Keep it separate. If anything happens, you want to make sure you can isolate variables and control them so it doesn't disrupt everything. Next year,
Mhm.
sending platforms. Some of the ones that we work with or have worked with, Smart Leads, Woodpecker, Instantly, there's a lot more that we are testing that have more robust APIs. So there's more automation in the back end for our end. Then copywriting. I know Sherry, you said that's like a whole different thing. Just to touch on that surface level, what your data and first of all, you need to be clear on who you're talking to. Be
Mhm.
very, very clear. What you say to a manufacturing company is not what you're going to say to a healthcare company, right? So you
Mhm.
need to make sure, number one, you know who you're talking to. Number two, what is their pain point that you are addressing? Typically, it is time, money, some kind of urgent matter that they're experiencing, making it personal to them, and then how you're going to solve the problem. Best practice, keep it short.
Yeah.
If you're looking at a company above 10 million as their target audience, that owner, especially if it's C-suite and above, they don't have time. Keep it to
Mhm.
the point, make it brief, but also position yourself as an expert in that space, right?
Mhm.
And I know like everyone's like data enrichment and the AI and we love all this and everyone's on that bandwagon, but really the truth is like when you get an email saying, "Hey, I saw you studied at XY university or you lived in China for X amount of months," you're like, yeah, but that's not relevant to this conversation. And like, you know, it's almost overused and it's not
Mhm.
working, right? That's why there's this like backlash of, Google and Microsoft screening for spam and you landing in spam so easily is because your content is not relevant, right? So obviously that is on your campaign setup and your sending platforms. And within the tech, we won't get into this right now. There's just so much nuances like link tracking, open tracking, et cetera, et
Mhm.
cetera, et cetera, right? And then obviously you want to make sure you have CRM integration and the whole process is seamless. And then going beyond that, something to consider and something that we do want to focus at Accelerate is what happens when the lead enters your CRM, right? And you should be
Mhm.
questioning that. How many touch points? Do you have different pipelines? Do you have, very targeted content, whether it's based on industry or stage of the sales process, etc. So,
Mhm.
that's kind of how we are addressing some of the things that Sherry mentioned in terms of not only sourcing, but then also next steps.